Satnam. So what is this Mercury retrograde all about? We still have 2 weeks of it. It's lasting until February 21st, but keep in mind a few days after that, we're still in the shadow of it. For eons, humanity has been observing the cosmos, and essentially retrograde just means that from our vantage point, it looks like it's traveling backward from its normal orbit. So suddenly it'll stop and it'll appear to travel backward from our vantage point on Earth. And since Mercury is the planet of communication, this might affect our intercommunication, whether that's interpreting body language, misunderstanding each other, all the way down to our technology glitching. Merc is also playing with the really prominent energies right now of dark forces and light forces. I get more into that in my video about dark and light and the checkerboard phenomenon. So check that video after this one if you'd like to hear more about that. But Merc is playing on this phenomenon, and there is a really powerful energy right now of triggering. So we are all getting triggered easily, and we're triggering others. So if we're vibrating really high, for example, and we're really being authentic and in our true alignment, we may trigger those who are not. When we allow ourselves to be wealthy and feel wealthy, we may be causing others to feel their scarcity more deeply, if that makes sense. The more real you are, you may get a lot of hate. If you trigger someone and they think you've gone mad, or you're not living your life according to what they think is right, you may find that that is caused by dark energies and light energies contrasting. So what does this have to do with retrograde? Retrograde causes us to feel things from the past. Old wounds, problems, or even just projects that are unfinished, or relationships that left off kind of unresolved, feelings unresolved. Those may come up again. You may literally get messages from people from your past. You may start thinking about something or someone from your past, or your behavior might shift, and you might start acting in such a way that you thought you had transcended already. You may start to exhibit some old habits. So this is something to pay attention to. We can always transcend this when we're aware of it. Just keep aware of yourself, always observing yourself. One thing that will happen during Merc Retro is, and by the way, Merc Retro is happening again in June and in October. So it's just the first one of 3 retrogrades this year. What might happen when old friends come into your life? You may start to, maybe you've distanced yourself from them because they were sort of pulling you out of your vortex. And what I mean by that is they would pull you out of your authentic self. You would sort of shrink for them to sort of make them feel comfortable. Or maybe they've just really had a lot of negative influence in your life in some way, shape, or form. You may start to reminisce and remember all the things you love about them. That's wonderful. But I'm here to tell you, to urge you to use caution and just ask yourself, when you're interacting and resurrecting these old relationships, friendships, are the people really going to take you back into that old pattern again? That's the question. Is someone reaching out to you to say, for example, I'm starting to really get into meditation now. Let's meditate together. Let's do this, let's do that. Suddenly you may find they cancel, or they drop you, or they change your mind, and they're really just sucking the life out of you, and you're spending all this energy, and then they flake. So that's stealing your energy. That's bringing your vibration down, that's taking you out of your vortex of light. And they don't mean to do it, but there are people who are operating more on the dark energy than the light energy. Get into that in my other video. And you may find that they need to feed on external energy, people like you, to feel uplifted and to get a little energy boost that day. And then they may just disappear and go back to their old ways. These old friends or these family members may be using you as a sounding board. They may say, oh, these bad things keep happening to me, affirming that this happened and that happened, really calling in more bad things for them to happen, not realizing that their point of gratitude and acceptance of anything negative that's happened to them will transcend the pattern. And they want to pull you into this pattern and complain and tell you all their problems. Bad things keep happening to me. Well, you know what? The universe will keep sending you signs louder and louder until you get it. So that's what you say to them. You don't get sucked in. You stay in your light. You might find this type of person will say, I wish I had your life. Your life is so cool. I wish I was healthier. But it's all these negative affirmations. And again, when you extend the energy to help them or guide them or give them support, you may find they retreat, affirm the negativity. I can't, I don't have time, and then they'll just ignore you. So you gotta watch how you spend your energy, because that energy exchange really has to be on common ground, and it really works both ways. So protect your energy when these major retrograde cycles emerge in your life. Now, how do we use discernment? Discernment is the theme this month. Okay, we really are sovereign and we need to use discernment. That means feeling our way through. If we overthink it, again, we could be in that retrograde pattern of remembering all the good things, all the positive things, and that's fine. But we may also be spending a great deal of energy. And it may come up fruitless that we spend that energy, and it may just take us out of our upward spiral to our own prosperity and our own opportunities. So we have to be careful. Now, using discernment simply means feeling our way through and changing the radio station if it feels low vibe. So analyzing doesn't work so well. Feeling, we know the feeling of when something is high vibrational, feeds our energy, or when something's low vibrational, gets us all up in our heads, gets us feeling bad, feeling anxious. We don't have to solve all those problems. We can drop these problems. You can't always control them, but you can ignore them. So change the radio station, because most of our thoughts and your friends' thoughts are not really them. They're just tuned into a certain radio station, and so are you. And you need to tune that radio to one that feeds your higher soul's purpose. Just drop it, change the station. Say to yourself, I will not live in the old paradigm. Okay, this Mercury retrograde will put you back. It will seem like the path of least resistance is to go back into old paradigms. You need to say, I will not go back in the old paradigm. I will create, continue to create from this 0 point. No future, no past. Each moment we create the trajectory of our life. So one way we can do that, there are mantras and meditations that I love that bring me back to that 0 point frequency where I am the conscious creator of my reality. So 2 meditations that you can use as tools to achieve this are the HUD prosperity meditation that can be found on my YouTube page in the meditations playlist. HUD is the creative aspect of infinity. And the other is HUD, Haray, Haree, Wahe Guru. HUD, the seed of creation. Haray, the growth. And Haree, the celebration, the flowering, the manifestation of this growth. So this brings you back into the vibration of creating from this point. This is a good one to chant. These are both good ones to chant this month. When we chant these, and the second one I mentioned will be up on my YouTube in the next few days as well. So check out both of these. Or look up Awakening to Your Creativity by Harnam. He has an excellent recording of the Haray Haree meditation. So just listen to that, have that sound current going in your house, in your car. It's really powerful. So what we're doing is we're saying, let's not do cancel culture, but let's cut things out of our lives, and not with ego, a consciousness of cutting people out of our immediate lives, or just kind of compartmentalizing how and where and when we spend energy on them. And we're just taking the energy of the interaction and sending it back to them with love. So we're not holding on to it because it doesn't belong to us. It's not ours, it's not yours. Send it back to source and draw upon source to create the energy that is yours, that helps you manifest your life's purpose. So chanting Had Hare Hari Wahe Guru is the way to consciously cut those energies out and send them back with love. At the same time, igniting your creative fire. The HUD Prosperity Meditation, which again has been on my YouTube already for a while now, is HUD, 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 and you're really striking the Mercury mounds. This is the Mercury finger, the planet of communication once again. So stimulating the communication, and that's intercommunication, that's reading minds, regular communication with others, feeling heard, feeling understood, and understanding others as well. The other mound would be the Jupiter mound, which is going to bring us expansive prosperity. And doing this meditation, there's no other possibility than to be reigning in extreme prosperity. Very powerful. I have both links to both of those meditations, audio tracks, posted in the description below. And I just want to come back to negative talk. So if people from your past reemerge with complaints and negative self-talk or negative projections of their situation, I want to remind you in brief, again, I get more into this in the checkerboard video, light, dark checkerboard. When we say negative things, it affects our health majorly. Did you ever hear about that Japanese researcher that spoke to water and then he froze the water and the ice crystals, that he said things like love and joy and I appreciate you, what the shape of the ice crystals turned out to be? And then the ice crystals where he said, I'm not worthy, I hate you, nothing's going right for me, how those ice crystals had a very different shape to them. It was not geometric, not symmetrical, it was kind of scattered, jagged, and all over the place. This is happening in your body when you're speaking or you're around people who speak like that. Again, let's get more into that in the dark and light video, and how energies physically affect how your cells and your neurons interact and communicate with each other. So I just wanted to mention it now because communication is between cells, is between synapses and your neurons, and your neurological system is going to play a lot more tricks on you if you're not nurturing it, especially during this communication circus of retrograde. Again, I just want to reiterate that the dark energy, that's operating through humans, and the light energy that's operating through humans is a consciousness, and the human is a channel. So it's not the person, but it's whatever they are open to and whatever station they are tuning into that determines whether they're on this upward spiraling trajectory or just a downward spiraling kind of I need this, I need that, I need external pleasures to get through my day kind of frequency. Now, the Mercury retrograde energy isn't all bad. It's not necessarily an obstacle, it's an opportunity. So it gives you a chance to clean out the basement, becoming aware of old patterns and triggers that you haven't eradicated. So it's a chance to acknowledge them and clean them out. Get rid of them once and for all. So we're going inward, we're acknowledging these old emotions that don't serve us. We're letting them go to become a clear channel for light, creativity, and prosperity. You don't have to try to solve the problems. You just have to clear the energy by doing inner work like meditation, for example, connects you with source energy, God, creative source, whatever you want to call it, the universe, your higher self. You are just a tiny slice on this earth of what your true self is. Your higher self's looking down on you, constantly trying to give you gifts, give you opportunities, show you the way. So you just connect with your higher self, and the rest takes care of itself. You just stay connected. That's your work. Your inner work is your only job here. When we mention the dark forces, it just means that it's an energy that seeks to grab from other people or to grab from external sources to stay alive. So it just means that you have no connection to your higher self, and you just need all these different earthly pleasures to satisfy you and reassure you constantly. That's very exhausting, and it's not a vibration for a healthy mind or a healthy body. And quite frankly, it's a total block to prosperity. Again, this is reaffirming your problems and looking for activities, people, money, constantly to entertain you. The great breads and circuses plays on this, the powers that control our people or attempt to control our people, I should say, play on this very powerful psychological effect. Beware of this, especially this month, when your tendency might be to go back to these temptations. It's not bad to watch Netflix or go get a treat, or it's not bad to enjoy external things, but you have to ask yourself, have I been doing the inner work and now I feel like going and watching Netflix? Or are you like, I don't want to do any inner work, so I'm going to distract myself with Netflix? This is the question. And finally, if you're going back to do some inner work, or you're going back in the 3D world to talk to some people from your past, and there's some unresolved issues, quash it, end it. This is an opportunity to put it to bed once and for all. To put old habits to bed, to put anything to bed once and for all. Desires that don't serve you become desireless, infinite, radiant, and watch what opportunities and miracles fall into your life that you don't even know you wanted. You know, sometimes some famous rock band said, if you try sometimes, right, you might not get what you want, you'll get what you need. So drop your desires, drop these dark energies, go inward, no future, no past, just go inward and see what you really need. Connect with your higher self. That's the gift you give yourself this retrograde season. Check out my other video, Dark and Light Forces, the Checkerboard Effect. Like, subscribe, ding the bell. I love to see you here. I love to hear your comments and your feedback. So don't hold back. Love you. Satnam.